Good afternoon, scholars. Welcome back to another virtual class. I am your teacher, Miss Anderson. Today we are going to be diving into another third grade science standard, and without further ado, let's begin. I want to take this time to welcome you to our class. Today we're going to be discussing standards S3L1.A. The standard reads, ask questions to differentiate between the plants, animals, and habitats in the 5 Georgia geographic regions. So, what does that mean, Ms. Z? What does that mean I need to do? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm so glad you asked. That means that at the end of these 2 weeks, after we have talked about all of these beautiful, wonderful topics for 2 weeks, you should be able to tell me and successfully notice the key differences within the 5 Georgia regions, and you should also be able to tell the differences between the plants, the animals, and the habitats in the 5 Georgia geographic regions. Right? All right, you all, I want you to get out your science journal or a trusted recording device. I'm going to give you 1 minute to write down the answers to these questions. Pause the video as soon as I tell you the questions and write down your answers in your science journal or record it on a trusted device. Guys, remember that whenever you write it on or whatever you record on, make sure that you can have access to it at a later time, okay? Your opening questions that you're going to be answering is, what am I expecting to find out that I do not already know about Georgia's 5 regions? And the secondary question that I want you guys to answer is, what do I want to know about Georgia's habitats, plants, or animals? Okay, I'm going to say that one more time, friends. I want you to answer, what am I expecting to find out that I don't already know about Georgia's 5 regions? And your secondary question is, what do I want to know about Georgia's habitats, plants, and animals? All right, scholars, let's pause the video right now and write down your answers in your science journal or record it on a trusted device. Your minute starts now. All right, friends, 20 seconds have passed. There's no rush, but you should be answering, what am I expecting to find out about Georgia's 5 regions? And what do I want to know about Georgia's plants, animals, and habitats? All right, your minute is up. Now, before we dive into any more of this lesson, you also can pause the video now because in the description box below, you are going to find a Google form link, okay? That link should be titled Georgia Regions Pretest, okay? Georgia Regions Pretest. Now, I'm going to attach this link separately just in case, but I've also created a Google Classroom for you all to come in and join and take the pretest. Now, all of my friends, scholars, if you're watching this video, truly take that pretest because I want to be able to make sure that all of the responses are going to be recorded when I do this for my students. Okay, thank you for your responses. How do you think you did? What was your score? Leave it down in the comment section below. All right, now before we get started talking about how to make the questions that you guys have about Georgia's regions and their plants and animals and habitats, it's important for us to discuss the qualities of a great scientific question. Okay, so I created this acronym that I love, and it has clearly helped me to be able to develop scientific questions, and I hope that it will do the same for you. So the acronym is CTSS. Once again, it's CTSS. Okay? The C stands for clear. When we're developing a scientific question, we want to make sure that it is not too broad and not too narrow. It should state exactly what you want to find out or what you want to know. The T stands for testable. Your question needs to be able to be investigated through observation or experimentation. Okay? The first S stands for specific. Your question should also be able to not investigate too many variables at one time, okay? So what you want to do is you make sure you only are wanting to find out one specific thing, and you're not trying to find out the answers to a million questions at one time, okay? And lastly, you want to make sure that it's significant, that your question is worth your while, okay? You really want to know whatever you're finding out, okay? Because when you're researching, this is going to take your time. It's going to be something that you pour a lot of yourself into. And you want to make sure that you're spending your time doing something that you truly want to know and you truly enjoy, okay? So now that we have developed and talked about what makes a great or good scientific question, we are ready to dive into today's lesson. What are you looking at right now? Pause the video right now and write down or take a second to guess what you're looking at. All right, if you guessed the state of Georgia, you would be correct. That is the state that we currently live in right now, okay? Now, these are the 5 geographic regions of Georgia. Starting at the top in the light blue color is the Appalachian Plateau. It is the smallest region of Georgia. In the middle, in the green, is the Valley and Ridge. It is right in the upper middle region. On the top left corner, the blue is the Blue Ridge Mountains. In the middle, the bright pink is the Georgia Piedmont. And the biggest region of them all is the Coastal Plains. Now, I have a question for you guys. This is all of the counties in our wonderful state of Georgia. Now, if you would like, you can take a second to look this up, or you can pause the video and zoom in. But I stay here in the wonderful county of Tattnall. So when I compare this map and my location to the previous map, I realize that I live in the Coastal Plains region of Georgia. Which region do you stay in? All right, since we've been talking about region, we might as well learn what the word region means. Region is a geographic area that shares common traits or characteristics. Those common traits or characteristics can be anything like climate or language or economic activity. Our economic activity in my region of the Coastal Plains is farming. What is your economic activity where you stay? All right, along with this, I want you to write down this definition that we just discussed. If you need to, you can pause the video here, write down the definition or say the definition of region in your scientific journal or a trusted recording device. Along with this definition, I want you to also write down the 5 regions of Georgia. First, at the very top, the smallest piece we had was the Appalachian Plateau. Second, in the upper middle, we had the Ridge and Valley. Third, we had the Blue Ridge Mountains. Fourth, we had the Piedmont. And last, and the biggest section, is the Coastal Plains. You can take a second, once again, write this down in your science journal or record this information on a trusted device, being sure that you can get your hands on this information at a later time, because these are going to be our research points. All right, now that you have those things recorded, I want you to pause the video right now, and I want you to go outside, and I want you to find a plant in your region, okay? Make sure that you follow these instructions to the T, because I don't want any animals to be harmed in the making of this video, okay? So go and find a plant in your region. You can take a picture, you can pick it, and I want you to bring it back in, okay? So while I was out, I went and I found some plants in my region of the Coastal Plains. I found this branch with these leaves, and as you can see, it's fall where I live right now, and so the leaves are starting to turn colors. I'm just examining some things about it. I see that it has ridges over it. I notice, like I said, the color changes. I notice that some of the leaves are not yet ready to change. However, they do have some indication that they're about to. I notice that something has been gnawing or eating and nibbling on a couple of these leaves. I noticed that it's pretty sturdy. Although this is a thin branch, it's super sturdy. Okay, so that was the first thing that I found. I also found a bunch of this grass. Like when I went to go pick it, there was like a big stack of them. It was like all grown, and it wasn't like a bush. It was a small like plant, and it was growing, and I decided to pick a few of them. Just examining it, I also noticed that, these are starting to turn a little brown. I don't know, however, if it's because of fall or if it's because it's not getting enough nutrients. It's not rained a while here in Georgia in Tattnall County, so it could be the reason. Not really sure. I don't notice, like on the previous branch, I don't notice any nibbling as much on it. So, yeah, it makes me have some wonders, some questions about them. And last but certainly not least, I remember back when I was a little girl, I used to love to chop these up as if I was chopping up spinach or something when we would play Chopped. And I picked these up. Now this was really tough when I picked it. It was very sturdy. It wasn't weak. It was very rooted into the ground. So that was just some of the things I noticed. It's also not being affected by this fall weather. It's not like this plant where it's like withering. It's very vivacious. So the soil or the area that it was growing in was giving it the nutrients that it needs. However, I want to know why this plant is turning brown, but this plant, is not. So now that you guys are back and you have watched me tell you some of the things that I discovered when I went outside, I want to give you some suggestions. I want you to take a second and write down your questions about what you found in your science journal, or you can record your questions on a trusted device as well. Here are some examples that I noticed about my plants. I wonder what kind of plant this is. So as you saw, the 3 that I found, and then the last one is still in here in my bucket. I wonder what kind of plants these are, because I have no idea. The next question that I have is, I wonder if it's food for any native animals. So as we noticed on the leaf, there's some bites it looks like has been taken out of it. So it could be food for a native animal. I also wanted to know, I wonder if it could harm any animals if eaten. If so, which native animals in Georgia could it harm? Another question that I wanted to ask is, why does it grow here? What about the coastal plains climate allows these plants, these 3 different plants, to grow here and thrive? Or not thrive, because we noticed some wilting in the other ones. What kind of soil or conditions allow for this plant to grow here? So all of these are scientific questions because they are clear, because they are testable, because they are specific, and lastly, because they're significant. I truly, want to know about the plants that are around me. So along with the things that I wonder or I want to know, I also want you guys to take notice of the things that you noticed. So in my case, I noticed that this plant was starting to turn a little bit brown, whereas this plant is lively and green and nothing is going on. I also noticed that there's some nibbling on this plant, and I noticed that the fall season is taking effect in this plant, but the other 2 don't seem to have any fall color changes. So those are the things that I noticed, and I want you to take time to write down the things that you noticed about the plant that you chose as well. Okay, so now guys, we are going to split up in our groups. Also down below is a link to my Google Classroom, so you guys can click the link and join. And in those groups, you guys will see in a second, group number 1 is going to go to the Piedmont. Group number 2, you guys are going to go to the Appalachian Plateau. Group number 3, you're going to go to the Blue Ridge Mountains. And lastly, group number 4, you're going to stay here with me. And we're going to be doing vocabulary headbands. It's a game that we can do together. Now, as you notice, at the very bottom of the screen, it says choose a spokesperson in each group. So in each one of your groups, you could choose someone that at the very end of class you want to speak on you all's behalf. If you want to know which group you want to go to, here are the names. They're your actual names. I hope that's okay with everybody. So I didn't put anyone's last names on there so that no one could be found. So your first names are here. Lexi, Ariel, Sydney, Jade, you guys can go to the Piedmont. Demi, Vogue, Mallory, Miranda, you can go to the Appalachian Plateau. Jane, Summer, Zachary, and Brittany, you guys can go to the, goodness, guys, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. You guys can go to the Blue Ridge Mountains, Summer, Jane, Zachary, and Brittany. And group number 4, you're going to stay here with me, but you're also going to go to the vocabulary headbands linked in the Google Classroom. And that's Saren, Kaylee, David, and Rihanna. All right, so if you're in group number 1, you should see something like this. This is something that I drew, and it's just a few things to help us identify the Piedmont. If you're in group number 2, this is what you should see. It's a few things to help us with the Appalachian Plateau. If you're in group number 3, this is the Blue Ridge Mountains. Excuse me, this is the Appalachian Plateau, and this is the Blue Ridge Mountains. Sorry, guys. And also, like I said, if you're in group number 4, you just go to the headbands. So how the headband game will work is you guys are going to, I decided to do a little like scaffold to help those who may have some trouble with reading and comprehension. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a second to read, or we're going to read together the definitions, and you guys can come with me. We're going to go read the definitions, and then I'm going to read them to you. And then I'm going to hold up a sign, and what you will do is I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to show you it. I'm going to show you a sign like such, like this. I'm going to put it on my head, and then you are going to look at your here. So it's on a slideshow in Google Classroom, like I said, and I'm going to have my voice within this slide, and it's going to say, this is the vocabulary word elevation. Elevation is the height of land above sea level. And so you guys are going to have your headphones on your own individual Chromebooks, and if I'm previewing the word elevation, you are going to repeat what I'm saying in the video. So you're going to repeat my voiceover and say, this is something that measures the height of land above sea level, and I'm supposed to say elevation. If I get right, then the teacher gets the point. But if I guess wrong, then the students get the point. So this game, like I said, is just something that I decided to come up with. That's a teacher-led group to help those who are struggling reading. Now, if they don't, and I still will give this option to them, however, they'll have to listen to it one time over or write down it on a index card, and then they have to use those index cards to define and describe the vocabulary word to me. This is helping to reinforce the vocabulary, as well as helping them to have some fun with it. Okay, so we're going to come back over here to the view board. I'm going to prop you guys up again. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun. So, if you're also in groups 1, 2, or 3, you will also notice that there is a I notice and I wonder document there. You guys can write on that document together and just write the things that you notice about the picture, or write the questions that you have about some of the things you see or some of the things that you read on the back, because there's details about what you're looking at on the back of the PDF. So, if you guys are ready and you've made it back, I hope that you had a lot of fun looking at the details of the Piedmont, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the Appalachian Plateau, as well as you transitioning and learning about the vocabulary of the Georgia regions. And before we leave, we are going to do an exit ticket. There's just one more thing. It's exit ticket time. I want the spokesperson of each group to tell me one thing that they noticed on the PDF. You can leave it in the comments below, or you can comment in the Google Classroom that we have. And I want you guys to write or record yourself telling me one thing that you wonder about a plant or animal in any of the 3 regions that we have discussed today. Okay? So I need my spokesperson of each group. You can put spokesperson ... your name. And I want you to tell me one thing that your group noticed about one thing in your region or the regions that you went to. And I want you to everybody must participate in this part. Tell me something that you wonder about a plant or an animal in any of the 3 regions. Just pick one region to tell me a wonder about, okay? All right, and as soon as you get done, please return. We are going to discuss one more time that acronym of what makes a strong scientific question. Remember that acronym is CTSS. We want to make sure that every question that we wrote down today is clear, it's testable, it's specific, and it's significant, okay? So remember, if you need to, you can rewind the video and look at my examples to help you make sure that your question meets those criteria. If it doesn't, that's okay. You can just erase it and try it again, okay? Make sure your question is clear, testable, specific, and significant. You can leave them also in the Google Classroom or the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you with feedback, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed class today. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye.